Mr. Giuliani, that is the essential question that we are here to ask.
Good. So now, anything else? Colonel, you did a great job. He's available for any more questions.
If you are done,
available all day.
If you are done, Mr. Giuliani, we do have a number of questions from the panel members for you, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right. The first thing I'd like to ask is, you spoke on system capability, and I know that much has been made of the excoriation of the state of Texas on the Dominion equipment, software, and all that. Can you provide just a very short comment on why they said, not only are we not recommending this, we're prohibiting the use of this equipment in our state?
In a nutshell, vulnerabilities that were issued, not addressed, and not fixed. There were too many system vulnerabilities.
Okay. And you also referenced a comment about DHS. And I'm struggling with, why did DHS say security for this election was the best it had ever been? Do you have any insight into that?
In my experience in life, there's generally two factors for individual. I mean, it's either competence or commitment. So they were either incompetent or not committed to learning the truth at the senior leader level, not at the operator level. And
does DHS know about the information that you've shared with us or that you're sharing with us in the process of this? Have you shared that with them specifically?
And much more.
So beyond what you're saying here, you've gone into much greater depth.
Yeah, we have relationships with our local DHS personnel in Texas, and both the intelligence divisions and CISA. When I started working on this project in August, I called them up, said, "You guys have got to come out and look at it." They did. They spent an initial 3 hours going through this data. At the end of that, one of them said, "I think I need to go outside and throw up."
Okay, besides that, did they do anything about it?
They had multiple follow-ups. They drove up to our Dallas counterpart team, received over 600 gigabytes of data that had been accumulated over time. Our team provided them over 200 gigabytes of confirmatory data, and they analyzed that. After they analyzed, there was a passive scan done. They conducted a limited scan and determined that there were vulnerabilities. They held numerous meetings with their folks, the CISA cyber side, and the INA, which is the Intelligence Assessment Division.
And I'm sorry, CISA, could you let the folks who are watching know what CISA is?
CISA is the agency in DHS that's responsible for cyber and infrastructure.
Okay. Members, any other questions? Representative Biasucci.
One note that might be important. Members of the elections division of CISA, I was told, would never attend the meetings or the briefings that were conducted internal to DHS on the material that we had presented.
And I'm sorry, who is that did not participate?
The election security division inside of DHS.
Okay, thank you. Representative Biasucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Colonel. I just wanted to make sure I have this correct. So when we're talking about, it was Mr. Krebs? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. He stated the most secure election in history. He stated we're not connected to the internet. He stated no votes leave this country. This is all things he's stated publicly.
So on the CISA website, correct?
Right. So are you willing to say under oath that you have seen the connection to the internet? You have seen it go offshore to Germany, Frankfurt. Are these things that you have personally seen and can say that is not true?
Our white hat hackers, yes, they have that traffic in the packets.
So why would he make that kind of comment, do you think?
Either not knowing believing the myth or not wanting the truth to be known.
Thank you.
Senator Borelli?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Colonel. I've got a couple questions on the Board of Supervisors. During one of their hearings, had said that the text for this equipment, that's, by the way, the county doesn't own this equipment. It's leased by Dominion and Smartmatic. But is it irregular? Is it SOP for the tech reps to be there during the election process?
Yeah, that's been something we observed in Michigan and Pennsylvania, whether they're full-time Dominion employees or contractors. There are Dominion employees that are there to run the equipment.
Because at the Board of Supervisors hearing they'd actually made comments that they actually provided them an office space in the county for them to handle this stuff. My question is, a couple weeks ago they did a test to show that how the system was secure. So they did it before and mid and then after tests, so everybody could see that the Board of Supervisors and the county elections that see this cannot. So what you're hearing is false. Obviously, or is it during that test? Can they find the anomalies in there during that basically what I always call a dog and pony show? Would that show up in one of these tests?
In a forensics examination?
No, just see, come here and look at this is how we certify the machines, calibrate the machine, whatever, zero it out, this and that. Obviously, these anomalies would not be showing up during that moment, correct?
Correct, and it's our understanding that Dominion had a software update at least in a couple states. I'm not sure about Maricopa County, but like the day before the election.
Representative Bartow, any questions?
I did have one question. Thank you, Colonel. Excellent information. You described web traffic increase during the election as opposed to how do you measure the increase?
Are you talking just on the Dominion server network?
Yes.
They just look at volume of data that's moving through the pipes. And I'm not our hacker team they're the experts. I just kind of the big picture know how to answer it, but they do measure volume traffic. Matter of fact, on the Frankfurt server on election day, there was a German cybersecurity professor that was noting that the increase in traffic was, and he related it back to COVID and said, we haven't even hit our indoors winter season yet, and we've hit the highest traffic. And he specifically noted that one of the reasons was the American elections.
Was it an exponential increase?
I don't think it was an exponential, but I think it went from 7 point something terabytes a second to 10 terabytes. So it went to a lot of, a pretty big increase, not an exponential though.
Okay, to my unqualified mind, I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds big.
The volume jumped up pretty significantly on November 3rd and 4th to that particular server in the pipes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Colonel Waldron, so essentially about 33, 34, 35% increase?
I would have to go back and look at the numbers, but
I mean,
something
from
in
7
that
to 10?
Ballpark.
Yeah, that's big.
I can't remember the exact numbers.
All right, very good. Senator Gowan, you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Colonel, you talking about the SGO system, and that was, you said Hugo Chavez, he was partial owner in that. Now, that's the beginning of Dominion?
SGO was a separate company, but Dominion acquired Sequoia Systems that was spun off of SGO. And they also acquired Premier, which was spun off of Diebold, but they all have the common core of the common code really goes back to SGO. And that one org chart that I put up there kind of showed the licensing agreements that go back and forth between SGO and Dominion. So it's the licensing for the software and the code.
So it still stems from the SGO system.
That's correct.
So, and then you're stating Dominion owns the data. So does that mean when they see the vote count that they own that, not the counties, the state?
They process it, they retain it. It's in their backup servers.
So they have the votes themselves as well, when that's supposed to be property of the state.
They've got the data. They've got the voter data, voter registrations.
And then you said Dominion sits on the board of Mr. Krabs. Is that right?
That was on the CISA website.
When you say the board, what is the board?
It was their Election Security Advisory Council.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let's see. Representative Roberts, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colonel Walton, earlier you were talking about the methods via internet and internal methods as far as, I think you used the term, I forgot exactly how you said it. There was basically methods from the internet and then also internally that there could be manipulation of votes. So my question is do you have any knowledge of were the machines in Arizona connected to the internet at any point in time? And if not, or if so, are there logs internally in these machines that if we were to be able to subpoena these machines and demand them so they could be examined, could we see all of those changes that were made?
So when you watch CBS, CNN, any of the mainstream media where they've got the live vote updates, that data is passed live. I mean, it's as the votes are updated. So it's, nobody's getting in a plane and flying the hard drive to New York. I mean, it's uploaded and it's connected. So it is connected to the internet, and whether it's locally, I mean, they can move votes with the cards, the voter cards. Those can be preloaded in laptops with the software that could be interdicted and upload fake votes, as in the allegation from Pima County, in batches of 1,000. They can scan blank ballots, and then the administrator can allocate that batch of blank ballots to one candidate or another, either in 100% or any percentages that they allocate in according to the user's manual.
So to that point, just indulge me just a moment. Would you say that is what we saw in the 2018 election with Governor Bevin, where we actually saw on television, real time, the movement of some 500 votes from one candidate to another? I mean, it was so stark. You saw them go down on one and up on the other on the exact number. Would that be a manifestation of what you're talking about?
So the working hypothesis from our counterparts on that, because they've worked at and watched it, and they actually went to Kentucky to assist the team there, was that was a server level interdiction. So they went up to the server, downloaded a CSV file, changed the votes, and re-uploaded it.
All right, thank you. Representative Roberts.
So just to kind of tack on to what we were just discussing, it's my understanding, because there was an article here in Arizona from the Arizona Daily Independent, there was a quote-unquote whistleblower that was talking about issues that they had observed. And so one of the things they were talking about was that the data from the machines was being moved via the hard drive. So what you just described as far as the real-time data being uploaded and all that stuff, just for the layman, that same type of manipulation, whether you plug in an Ethernet cable or what have you, or you're doing it on a user interface, that same type of malfeasance could be accomplished in that method as well.
And I think in looking at these systems, we identified almost a dozen ways that you could inject or interdict to manipulate votes.
On that note, you said earlier that pretty much all of these machines have vulnerabilities. So is there any system out there that you're aware of that is worth exploring, or do we just need to go back to the paper ballot?
There is MIT developed a system with some capital infusion. It's a system called Votes, VOATZ, and it's a blockchain type system. Again, it's when I first became aware of this, I went and talked to some friends of mine who were bank presidents, and I said, okay, why can't we apply banking principles? Because if you want anything done right, you go talk to the money people. That's who protects their stuff. And he said, oh yeah, and it's an app. You can do it as an app with tie it in with Real ID and a blockchain type solution, or the next generation solution. But there are systems, and I believe the votes system is deployed right now. I believe and I know West Virginia is one that I remember reading on their website.
Thank you.
We are a commitment-based purchase website, meaning that when you purchase something from our website, you are making a commitment to give away these brochures, give away and put on bumper stickers, put up the yard sign, or hang the flag. Our vision is to bring public awareness to organized pedophile rings. Our mission is to turn prey into predators, and our values is righteousness, bringing the light into the darkness, integrity, stay consistent, and endurance, never quitting. We also recommend to subscribe to other channels like Ryan Dawson, Sean Atwood, for more information around organized pedophile blackmail rings. Thanks so much. Please subscribe and have a great day, everyone.